Let's duck up to Brisbane now and catch up with former Senator Amanda Stoker, host of Sunday with Stoker, here at 7 o'clock on Sundays. Thanks for joining us again, Amanda. Firstly, when it comes to the looming budget, a lot of pressure, even from a report handed to it, a report it commissioned on the Albanese government, to increase the dole to near enough to $1,000 a fortnight, and suggestions they should get rid of legislated tax cuts to pay for it. Should we be alarmed?
Well, look, I don't think we should be surprised that there isn't an enthusiasm for increasing the proportion of money that is spent by the taxpayer on contributions to welfare payments. They already constitute a huge part of the budget, and small increases can really cause things to blow out. And we know Dr. Chalmers is having a very hard time getting things in shape for the upcoming budget. I am conscious, though, that lots of people are struggling with the cost of living, and that strain is real. But even as we consider that strain, we have to remember that welfare isn't meant to be comfortable. It's not meant to be a desirable way in which to live. It's meant to be just enough to survive. And I don't say that out of a lack of compassion for the circumstances of people who are without a job.
No, you need the incentive to get a job.
Very low rate. That's right. And unemployment is a very, very low level now. We have businesses crying out for staff. If ever there is a time for a person without a job to get one, it is right now. So I support the decision. I just think it's a little bit cheeky of Labor to not practice in government what they were very happy to preach from opposition.
Oh, exactly. From opposition, they gave everybody the impression that they would be increasing the dole. You mentioned the cost of living. It is a crisis. It is hurting so many people. The polls for the coalition are dire at the moment. Regardless of what we all think about The Voice, and we all have our different views, is the Voice debate sucking the oxygen away from the opposition? Every day they're focusing on The Voice. They could be focusing on cost of living. Is that advantaging the Labor government?
Yeah, I actually think it's quite a strategic play on behalf of Labor and Mr Albanese. The more he has the media and Australians talking about changing the Constitution, the less time he has to be accountable for policies that pretend to help with the cost of living, but in fact make your energy bill higher for the long term, as we've seen with the moves that have been made by Mr Bowen to so-called cap the price of energy, even though it'll make it higher for the long term. And now we hear that Dr Chalmers wants to increase the taxes that apply to gas. Again, reducing investment, making your bills much higher for the long term. Every day we're talking about The Voice is a day that we're not talking about what really matters in the daily lives of struggling singles, families, pensioners, and I think that is the fact that it is more expensive than it has ever been to live here.
Yeah, and Labor campaigned on it, and hopefully in the lead up to the budget so we can get more of a focus on that. Before I let you go, I was going to call you Senator then. Before I let you go, Amanda, you're sitting there in Brisbane, of course, you're a Queenslander. Just down the road in the Gold Coast is the seat of McPherson. It's going to be vacant at the next election because Karen Andrews has stepped back from the front bench, says she's leaving politics. You'd make a lot of Queenslanders happy if you said you'd put up your hand for that seat and re-enter federal politics. Are you giving it any consideration?
Oh, look, I'd make my party very unhappy if I said anything about that on telly, but it's a good chance to pay tribute to the amazing service of Karen Andrews to that community, beautiful part of the world, and she has served it with diligence, but of course she's also been an outstanding minister. So
you won't rule yourself in or out?
Who takes that on?
You're not ruling yourself in or out?
I'm going to follow the party's rules, and that is to keep mum.
Keep mum. Well, good on you, Amanda. Thanks for joining us.